Hello everybody, welcome to Rewrite Your Reality with Reese. I am your host, and today I'm just going to outline a message I received from one of my followers. And it's about an ongoing story of their life specifically, not necessarily involving the same people in their life, just different people but the same story, right? Which is this idea that no matter which room you go to, if you don't change the story of the room, everything will rearrange itself in the same way, right? And this is what I mean by that. The initial story with this person was that they were experiencing a specific person who was not choosing to be with them in some form, in some manner. It doesn't really matter if it's a third party, it doesn't matter if they're leaving, none of that stuff matters. The only thing that matters is the experience of reality was, I am not chosen, right? That's about it. After some unfolding, the follower decided, okay, you know what, this is no longer for me. I am not going to pursue anything. It's more of a three-dimensional experience there that's kind of making a choice based on the circumstances. Your three-dimensional self is saying, I'm not going to pursue this because this person's situation is something I am resonating with as real, as a fact, and I don't want to do anything about that. So I'm going to leave it. You see, we think it's coming from this idea of, okay, no, I'm making a choice, I'm making a change. But yeah, you are brand new in every single moment, right? You are brand new in every single moment. So when we look at a situation, and I'll just give an example. Sometimes people ask, can I manifest somebody who's married? But yes, and here's why. It's because every single person, including your physical self, exists in an infinite number of states. Those states are basically arrangements of reality because your physical character is experiencing a state your consciousness, you, are arranging itself into. So of course you can manifest somebody specific who is married because ultimately that reality where they are with you, with that person and with anyone else simply exists. It has to. It can't just be you and them and the married person and nobody else. It has to be you, them, the married person and everybody else. But all of that stuff doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is who and what you say you are from your point of view. See, infinity is experiencing infinity from everyone's point of view, from every single place, right? So, when we say something like, okay, now I'm changing my mind because of the circumstances, that's you identifying with the three-dimensional experience and saying, I'm changing my mind because of the three-dimensional experience, not because I am God. Ultimately, if you are in a untidy room, and your story is that I am in an untidy room, and you're moving rooms because the room is untidy. You might move to another room, as in this person moved to another specific person as that experience. It doesn't matter how tidy the room starts, because your story is I am in an untidy room or I am not chosen. The room that you now enter is going to reflect that. And that's what happened. They experienced another specific person. It started off okay, if I'm remembering this correctly. And subsequently, this person decided to up and leave. I believe they blocked them at some point. You see, because the story isn't changing, even if the room is changing. You have to change the story. And how do you change the story? Is by knowing that you are actually existing in the room that you desire to be. You don't have to change rooms and make that room exist into what you want. You already exist in the room of what you want. It's not necessarily very tricky, but it is this knowing internally that's saying, okay, I am making a choice here as source. That I am blank, that means whatever it is I want, whatever it is I wanted, whatever it is I will want. Myself as source already exists in that arrangement. I am everything already. I am quite literally everything already. No matter what I am conceiving of in the thought of I am that, I actually am that, no matter what it is. I am experiencing reality from the physical point of view that is me. That goes for each and every one of us. We are always experiencing our individualized points of view. These points of views do not clash in three-dimensional world, even if we can experience the clashing of a point of view in the three-dimensional world, because that story simply just exists. Right? There's a funny thing where it's like there's no YouTube video on YouTube that doesn't have a dislike. No matter how blasé the video is, somebody will not like it for whatever reason, right? Because it just exists. So, that being said, if you are choosing based on your 3D circumstances, you're still identifying with the 3D ever-changing experiences of who you are. Even with a third party thing. In the next moment, you can change your mind because they have a third party and you want something else. It's not necessarily your choice now. Because you would still choose them if you experience them breaking up with that person and then being single and maybe wanting you would still choose them, perhaps, right? Maybe. But that's the kind of point that I'm making here, is that if you are choosing things based on the outcomes of three-dimensional reality, you are being moved by the three-dimensional reality to choose things that are based on you having a three-dimensional experience. And when you choose things based on having a three-dimensional experience, all you're doing is changing rooms, but the room will always rearrange itself into the story that you are telling, because it already exists that way. It does not mean you can't change rooms. What it means is the manner in which you change rooms actually matters. And when I say manner, I mean state of being, as in who you say you are, as in your self-concept. So when you realize your self-concept is actually perfect, your self-concept is infinity, your self-concept is actually be, do, and have anything, and you're choosing it from there, then of course you can choose another specific person because you're already in a relationship with everybody. Then it doesn't really matter. But if you know that, then you know that this person leaving and blocking you is nothing more than a reflection of that moment that means nothing. If you are experiencing someone not choose you, as an experience, you understand it exists, but as a choice, you also understand it's not yours. My choice is I am always chosen. I am who I say I am. And that's the only thing that matters. I choose to be who I desire to be right now. I know what my dreams are. I know who I am. I know why I am dreaming them. I know who I say I am. I know I am God. I know my word is the light of reality itself. And when you stay in that knowing, that's the only thing that matters. You're staying in your end. You're staying in the knowing of the identity you have now chosen to embody. It is a choice. You're not changing your mind every single time reality reflects something that may not necessarily be your chosen reality. It can reflect anything. It's infinity. It's you. You are being infinity. Your thoughts are always changing all day long, all night long, all week long. Right? It doesn't matter. Reality is always shifting. You have no idea what happened in the past few minutes. You only know what you are conceiving of to have happened in the past few minutes. Right now. You don't know. Right? You really don't know. So here's the thing. When you make a choice, you're making a choice from one or two ways. From this knowing that I am awareness and I'm creating everything. Or I'm making a choice based on what I'm seeing. When you make a choice based on what you are seeing, then you're always going to be making a choice based on what you are seeing, and you have to understand is that what you are seeing is always changing. But your choice as I am awareness is never changing, because I am awareness is never changing. And if your choice of I am awareness is never changing, the identity that is within I am awareness, living your dream life, is also never changing. And you can always choose that in every single moment. And that identity lives in every single moment, regardless of what the arrangement of the frame actually looks like. It means nothing. It's always your identity that is everything. So choose to see yourself as source, that regardless of whatever's going on, I am making a blank slate choice here, that I am this. No more what do I do when things happen that I don't necessarily agree with, because they don't matter. They don't actually matter. Nothing I say to you about what to do with this would actually matter. I literally couldn't say one thing to you, to anyone, even to myself, about what to do about something when something happens that you don't agree with. Because there's nothing to do. There is no thing that will work. There is nothing. There are things that may make you feel better. There are stories that may make you feel better. There are ideas that may provide you with a endorphin hit for a moment. There are things that may make you feel worse. There are things that may make you feel worse but ultimately make you feel better. All of those stories that, oh, there's more fish in the sea, or, you know, sometimes manifesting a specific person isn't what you're supposed to do, or blah, blah, blah. You know, the perfect person will come across, so whatever nonsense. None of that's true. The only thing that is true is that you are reality. Whatsoever conceptual reality that you have exists. Not only does it exist, an infinite number of arrangements of said reality exist, and you are every single one of those arrangements simultaneously conscious of being it. That's what you are. That's who we all are. That's what everything is. Right? Except that most things in the universe don't have the consciousness to actually arrange themselves. We have consciousness to do that as consciousness and experience the arrangement as a physical unfolding. So, that being said, thank you for the question, as always. Much love, much light. Thank you for the sharing. Thank you for the liking. Thank you for the commenting. Thank you for the joining of the Facebook group. Thank you for the joining of the TikTok page. Thank you for following and subscribing on YouTube as well. Much love and much light to you all. And I will see you all in the next one.